Well, some of you will feel relief. This is the last piece of Arctic policy to come through the Senate this year. And again, I want to thank you, Mr. President, for agreeing to have Arctic policy as one of the Senate's goals this year. We will accomplish it with this final piece. I got to thinking about it yesterday as we adopted the nation's first Arctic policy. And there was some discussion on the floor about financing, and we're in dire times right now. Of course, we're depending on the price of oil per day, anywhere between $3.5 and $4 billion in a deficit mode right now. And that is unfortunate and frustrating for all of us. We all have hopes and dreams and things we'd like to build. But why is it important, though, that we continue to keep our eye on the ball for the future in light of that? It's more important than ever because the past is the Trans-Alaska Pipeline, and we hope through development of good Arctic policy that we will find another elephant field in the Beaufort. In fact, the Burger Field has been identified as one of those that has the potential for 1 million barrels a day. With revenue sharing and good Arctic policy and communication in these next 2 years, perhaps we'll get a share. Even if we don't get a share, perhaps we'll get sound development that will fill up that pipeline again and bring good jobs to the state and the out-migration of economic development. If we don't get that, maybe we can partner with private industry through good, sound economic development and have some Arctic ports that will bring in new shipping routes, opportunities to import and export manufactured goods, maybe an opportunity to manufacture goods with a healthy gas supply through an AKLNG project and low fuel costs. Perhaps it's a chance to bring in new tourists. They're already coming. 400 new vessels just this last year alone without an Arctic port. Imagine if we had one to greet them. The Russians are certainly taking advantage of that right now. And so I don't necessarily mean in this policy or the one we passed 2 days ago that the state is going to pay for that. We passed last year a bill of mine that creates an Arctic Infrastructure Fund, allowing Ada, our state bank, to use some creative financing tools to attract the Guggenheim Foundation, Citibank Energy, and others to dream and explore the idea of co-venturing and public-private partnerships. That's where we need to be. Our eyes need to be on the future, not moiling around and worried that our lives will never be the same again and that woe is us. We're Alaskans. We're adventuresome. We are believers. We're optimists. And so I just encourage us in these days not to turn out the lights and slam the door. So today we are celebrating the years of the Arctic. In 1867, what a great decision was made. Too bad for Russia and great for us. The United States became an Arctic nation in 1867. And again, the previous resolution, Ted Stevens, his leadership and others made us a state. So here we are. Alaskans are building a history with vision, hard work, and independence. The U.S. is just now coming to terms with what it means to be an Arctic nation. As I've mentioned, we're one of 8. The 7 other nations out there have been Arctic nations with a full Arctic identity now for generations. They've had Arctic policy manuals on their shelves. Each one of their provinces and territories have been fully exploring in the economic ways and the social ways what it means to be an Arctic nation. Yesterday, this body passed the very first policy, Arctic policy. Later this month, the United States will assume the Arctic Council chairmanship. And so this resolution is once again a chance to shine a spotlight on Alaska's place in the Arctic during this next U.S. chairmanship. It will last 2 full years. Senators Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan, the United States State Department, and the 10 legislative members of the Alaska Arctic Policy Council Commission have all been talking about it. This resolution just solidifies that. It includes a few whereas clauses, things we'd like to do. I've mentioned a couple of them already. There'll be chances for us to highlight ANWR, chances for us to highlight best practices in the development that we have already done in Red Dog Mine, to show how we have been succeeding at Arctic development without an official name now for 50 years, Mr. President. So the legislature declares 2015 through 2017 as the years of the Arctic, a period in which the state of Alaska, us here as Senate leaders, should make every effort to highlight the importance of the Arctic to Alaska and to the entire nation. It's our chance to shine, to show how good we are as stewards of our environment, stewards of our people. The legislature encourages the state and its partners to join with organizations that are out there, such as the Alliance, the Resource Development Council, the Institute of the North, our community councils. And finally, there are 32 specific recommendations that we hope we can accomplish. As I've said, it's more of a wish list with the resources being what they are in our state. We're going to look to places like ADA. We're going to look to private sector partners, and hopefully we'll look to the federal government, which I will wrap up by saying, to remind the body, the federal government has taken in over $4 billion in lease money already from Shell Oil in the Beaufort and Chukchi. That's $4 billion that is in the federal coffers. It would be nice to see some of that money come our way for infrastructure development, for a polar class icebreaker, for a port in Port Clarence. So there is some partnering that could go on, and the emphasis should be there for these next 2 years for us. So I'd urge member support.